Hello and welcome to Gamersledge podcast. Come on in, sit down, have a fantastic, beautiful mason jar that's actually made out of plastic of milk. It's a conversation about video games, a look at the video gaming industry. We are joined by many folks this week, starting all the way on the far left, Turo.
Okay, now it works. Hello.
Nobody can hear me.
And there we go.
Yay! Hooray for starting the podcast. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Gamersledge podcast, episode 69. Is Destiny PlayStation home? Come on in, have a refreshing, insulated, purple mason jar glass made out of plastic of milk. Sit down and relax. It's a conversation between friends, a look at the video gaming industry. Joining me this week, we have a panel starting all the way at the left. It's Turo.
Hooray for startovers.
And then Daniel.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And Dave.
Hi.
And Kate.
Hello.
And last but not least, it's Matt.
Yo.
I feel like
you're
Daniel's
so cool. You're so cool with your yo.
Yo,
It didn't even
Adrian.
switch to you. That's fantastic.
Shouldn't that be my line since I am the one from Philly? I should be saying yo.
Yeah,
You should be.
sorry.
You should be.
You should be the one from Philly.
I filled in for you this time.
Thank you.
So, lots to talk about this week. We'll actually start all the way down at the end with Turo. Tell us about your week, sir. What have you been playing?
Destiny. It's just so much Destiny. Just so much fun stuff doing on there. The raids, and I'm a high enough level where I can actually do stuff.
What
Instead
level
of-
are you now?
I'm 24. Or
Okay.
no, I'm a little bit more, this much to 24. But at 23, there was just like benchmark or something from 20 to 23 that just makes it so much awesomer. It just feels better.
So, did you get a chance to watch the video review of Destiny that we put up on the site?
No, I want to watch that.
Yeah. Okay. So, this will be an interesting conversation. So, good. Daniel, did you get a chance to play any more Destiny?
I got to play about half an hour of Destiny with my brother like this week. I haven't been able to play very much video games at all. I played a little bit of Infinity, but that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So, what level are you in Destiny right now?
12 and a half.
Okay. Dave, you did not get on and play anything yet beyond the first, 10 minutes of the game, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to. I'm willing. But and I might have a good chance of doing that maybe tomorrow. But luckily I'll just be playing more Infinity tomorrow if I get a chance.
And Kate, you did not also get to play more this week, correct?
No, I didn't.
And Matt, did you?
I played late last week for Friday, but I haven't the last 5 days, I guess. So.
Good. So lots of other things that we will discuss. Yes, Turo, we'll get to it later.
Oh, you saw that.
Yeah, we saw that.
The shrink
Really?
wrap's still on,
Yes.
so you can't talk about it.
That's
No,
right.
I just got it today, actually.
Yeah, so we'll talk about it here in a little bit.
I'll fix that.
If you did not see our review score for Destiny, Matt gave it a 7. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. I am now this far from level 29, which 30 is the hard cap for the game. I've run the raids, and I don't think that I'm going to pick the game back up again, most likely, unless it's to play with friends.
Well, and expansions and stuff. That's what I feel like this game will do, is once you actually... It's a completion game. Oh, I did it all. That's awesome. But to get to that point, you have to play a lot of Crucible, you have to play a lot of Raids, and then the fun little daily challenges with the Queen's Wrath. I got this awesome chest plate thing. And I was like, sweet, awesome. And more weapons are going to add into it, and trying to get the other characters to that, or the other classes up to that par as far as maxing out to level 30. I think that's the fun part. But once you do that, that's it. No more.
I think the most I've played is watching it in your background every time you talk.
Oh, wow, yeah. It's happening right now.
And
Oh yeah, that's real life. That's happening.
The odd part is that it is fun to play, and I find myself still going back to it, except that it's now October and we've got all the games coming in for fall.
It's dangerous, yeah, because I look. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun.
Don't jump the shark. We'll get there.
I'm hearing a lot about
the
that
wrong
game.
color though.
I'm hearing a lot about that game.
The box is the wrong
Seems
color.
like it would be fun.
So not now. We'll get to it in a little bit. I want to continue on with our line.
But have you heard of this game though?
I did. I want to talk about it now.
I'm gonna reach through the phones.
There's actually an interview for that on the site. Did you see it?
Yeah, there is, as a matter of fact.
No.
It's a developer interview. Developer.
Did they talk about the Dark Ranger?
They did.
Yeah,
okay.
Actually watched it today or yesterday. Yeah, very good interview.
And if you've not seen our interview with the developer of Middle-earth: Shadows of Mordor, I highly recommend you head to the site. But Destiny, I know Dave's not had time, Matt's not had time, Kate hasn't had time, Daniel hasn't had time. Turo, are you thinking with the games that are coming out here over the next month that you will continue as fervently as you have been with Destiny?
I think those are it's going to be challenging things where I would like to finish it. Like I have this addiction to achievement. I'm an achievement whore, so I just love trying to get as many achievements as I can, or completing a game that could be completed, and that's it. You've done everything. And I think this is one of those games where I'm going to try to do as much as I can in them before I move to another game. And it takes a lot of time to do everything you can in them, unless it's like one or two things that'll take endless hours to do. Then I think that's when I'll be able to switch over and play other games and enjoy my life again. Because, oh man, the multiplayer is good. It's not. I mean, it's decent. It actually is decent. They haven't perfected it yet. It's not Halo 2 good or Halo Reach good or there's something missing, and that's not going to keep people around.
So community member Gith, he actually chatted with me and said, "Hey, I can't disagree with anything you guys said in the review. I still think it's fun, and the stuff that you graded it down for doesn't matter as much to me," which I understand completely.
It's a weird game. It's a weird monster. It's something else to review, because the more I play it and the more I realize what I'm achieving or what I'm getting and how I got to those achievements. Yes, hello puppy. It's like that kind of pushes it back, but the fun that I had is still there. I want to give it to a low score, but yet I've put more time into this game than a lot of games that I've loved to death, It's just it's strange.
It's interesting because the patch was released today that fixes the rare drops, so that you actually get rare drops.
I got 5 today.
I think they also are. I don't know if they actually included, and I did not get a chance to look at the patch notes, but I know that they're nerfing the auto rifle and the shotgun.
Ooh, I didn't read about that.
Yeah, so
reducing the range on the shotgun, which
it was already super short to begin with.
Really short. Oh my gosh, really?
So yeah, it's and I always think that is the wrong way to do balancing. I'm not a balancing expert, but taking things away, especially if you've invested a lot of time in it, that generally leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because then I feel like the game's broken as I'm playing.
That seems crazy, because I had to be like right on top of somebody when I used the shotgun in just a little bit I've played.
I think if you have balance problems, you need to just bump everything else up instead of lowering something down.
Gotcha.
Because I think that's going to cause some real problems.
Maybe this is punishment for finding the the farming cave.
Well, if they hadn't busted their game to begin with, then we wouldn't have needed a farming cave. But
Yeah.
So the name of our episode this week is actually given to us by one of our viewers. They wrote in, just like you can, to balt@gamersledge.com. Their question was, I've noticed a trend as I've been playing Destiny. I watched your video review, and I agreed with most of the stuff in there, but I still find myself going back and playing it, which is actually my exact same
There's
response.
something. It's a weird monster. It really is.
But he goes on to say, the question I have is I've noticed over the last few days that it's more of a chat session with friends, and we occasionally go and shoot things than anything else. And my question for the panel is Destiny the new PlayStation home?
Oh, jeez.
I think this is a hilarious question because it raises some really disturbing analogies.
You know what this totally reminds me of, and I can definitely see what you're talking about with this. Back when I was in college, I used to play MUDs.
Oh my God, you did?
Yeah.
I used to program for MUDs.
Yeah, I used to play MUDs, and I was like really good at them for a while. And then it got to the point where one closed down, so we went to another one, and it was just kind of we were just all friends, and I didn't get past level 11, but I was the leader of some clan and everything, and I was always getting my ass into trouble because people would go after me, but I wouldn't play anymore, so I wasn't uber powered like I was in the old MUD, but everybody was there gunning for me and stuff. So I had to have a flock of people around me because all we did was just chat on it after that. It literally became just a little chat session for it, and every once in a while we go and slay some skeletons.
Now, Daniel, I know one of your big concerns about the game was that the fire team is restricted only to 3 people.
Yeah, I mean part of my issue was most other games that allow multiplayer allow 4 players. So you have your group of 4 friends that you tend to play with, except you have to cut one of those friends out for this. And sure, you can hang out and talk to them, but the issue I've had with... Okay, so to answer your question, with my opinion, it's not going to be the new home. It can't be, because half the people I've talked to end up getting kicked out of the vocal sessions or can't talk to each other. I mean, I think it happened in one of the games I was playing with you, where we had to play telephone because one person could hear both of us, but we couldn't talk to each other. And I've had that happen with my brother
That did happen.
Wait,
We just made a party.
You guys have more than 2 friends each?
I have a lot.
Well, I make... Yeah. Most of mine are business associates.
Whoa, fancy.
What's it like being able to play with people online that actually like you?
I wouldn't know. Anyway, so that's one of my issues, and you can create a party with the PlayStation system outside the game, but to me that takes away the whole point of playing it in game with folks.
See, and the big thing for me is as I'm streaming games, if I make a party chat on the PlayStation system, then no one can hear any of us on the actual streaming video. So that's why I like to use the in-game chat, specifically because then not only do you hear me, but you also hear the other people in my fire team as we're communicating. And so that's kind of that's not an everybody situation, but for me that's kind of frustrating as well.
Well, I'm going to give you a different perspective. I didn't have any it wasn't just that I didn't have time for video games. I was full deadline up to with my convention table gifts. But when I almost had some time for video games, I didn't really want to play Destiny. I wanted to go through with my Dead Space 3 playthrough, because I'm not an online gamer. I don't like playing with other people. So I was just kind of yeah, I guess I could just go do some missions, but I didn't really have that desire that you guys have to play it. I was just kind of I'll get around to it.
That's actually, I think, a very healthy attitude to have with the game, because then you're not going to burn through the content.
Yeah, you're actually spreading out your fun.
Unlike Turo and I, which are crazy people.
It's funny. I always go back and forth with the whole I'm kind of jealous of Turo's and your ability to be achievement whores, because it seems like you guys get so much more game time. I don't know where you get it all from. I don't know how you do that.
Sacrifice a lot of time.
I envy that.
I don't sleep very much.
That was one thing that I sacrificed, was a lot of sleep.
I
don't sleep a lot either, but
Well, when I took vacation during what I'm calling Destiny Week, where I basically just ground through the game so that I could review it, Monday and Tuesday was one day for me.
Nice.
Literally, there was no sleep. I literally went through and maxed out a bunch of stuff so that I could get to the end game faster.
Oh,
so
God.
I find I can't do that anymore. I'm someone who just naturally needs a lot of sleep anyway.
Oh, me too.
I have like anxiety and depression issues. So if my sleep gets screwed up even a little bit, it gets really screwed up. So I can't do that stay up all night thing, or else like I'm all messed up in my head.
I think it is the first time that I have done it in literally probably 11 years.
God, I can tell you the last time I did it exactly. It was when Halo 2 came out.
Nice.
And that was a good damn week. I actually took a couple days off because it was Halo 2 dropped and a Ratchet and Clank dropped, like one after the next. And I played through Halo 2, and I remember getting mad because I was just like, all right, I was the Arbiter, I beat up a monkey, and there's no Master Chief at the end, you know. So I was like, they jipped me to the last level, but then I was able to go to a Ratchet and Clank after that, so everything was all right.
So the other story or the other news story from the week that we should talk about is apparently a player found a glitch in the game that revealed all of the DLC for the next 2 expansions. The first one coming in December and the second one shortly after that. And the DLC is $20 a piece, and it looks like it adds 2 raids and 5 strike missions. All in places we've already been, other than 1 raid in the Reef.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And so the other reports coming out is that apparently the story of the game changed dramatically in the last year, and that a bunch of the story was cut. And apparently, and this is not spoilers because it's not in the game, but apparently the Traveler was the bad guy, and you're actually working for the bad guy. And all the rest of the world is all the rest of the galaxy is trying to stop the evil that is the Traveler, and that you are actually the bad guy. And that's a story I would have totally gotten behind.
Say hello to the bad guy.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does. It sounds awesome. You know, you think you're the good guy, but nope. It turns out you're really the bad guy, screwing over the universe.
And that just reminded me.
And you know, actually,
Colossus all over again.
Grady called that.
Yeah, no, well,
The beta.
yeah, he did. But yeah, apparently not so much anymore, and that's why the Grimoire card was made system was made in the last year or 7 months in a super rush to kind of fill out some of the rest of the world building. So that's.
Why did they go with that? That sounds so awesome.
It sounds so much more. It has so much more ingenuity and originality to it than the non-story that we got now.
Because it's Halo all over again, kind of.
Yeah.
So we'll see what they do with it, but so that's anybody else have any final thoughts on Destiny before we move on from this topic for the week?
Yeah, you guys are making it hard for me to actually want to play it because you keep crapping on it.
Yeah. I'm actually considering selling it to EB so I can get some credit on something else.
I want to be clear about this because this is something actually that another community member, Big Hungry, came up and asked me after we posted the review. It's a fun game. The game part is mechanically very, very fun. And I am not saying you should not buy the game in any way, shape, or form. What my review simply stated was, if you're wanting to play this game for a long period of time, I would recommend against it. If you are looking for some fun online co-op with friends, this is the perfect game. This is like a Diablo 3, actually even a little more mindless than that after a while, because you're just grinding the same content over and over again. The game core mechanics are really fun. As long as that's all you care about, you're going to be just fine. If you're wanting an engaging story, it ain't there.
That's the problem I'm having with it, because as a writer, I look for the story, and it's not there. That story, though, originally with the Traveler being evil, would have been so awesome.
I know, and it just adds to the disappointment that I feel about the game personally, but yeah.
If they hadn't have built it the way it was and built it up so much over the last couple of years, it wouldn't be as devastating, I guess. But
yeah,
just the incongruity of it is really what kills.
So Turo,
incongruity.
What else? Let's see. TV front. I know you caught up on what?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've caught up on everything that I watch.
We'll talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. in a minute.
My dog wants to be on camera. Sorry.
It's a dog. He's cute.
Get over here.
Man, that's a grim visage if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah, because his name's Grim.
Aww.
Play.
Yeah, I played Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm on night 5, which I cannot.
Oh, you finally got through those.
Yeah.
Did you pee your bed?
I did it during the day, so.
Did you pee your place of employment?
I did. That was yes. I caught up on all the shows. Caught up on Doctor Who. Still playing Clash of Clans. Marvel Puzzle Quest, not so much. They're adding Dr. Octopus, and that's all I know about it.
Who cares? That game can kiss my natural white ass.
Are you just really bad at it?
No, it left me. Like it left you not able to compete anymore unless you're like paying for stuff.
There's another dog.
That's not true. They have on their support forums. There are a really good series of facts to how to progress through the star systems. You know what you need to do from the beginning of the game to move forward without paying for stuff. But you may not be into that type of thing.
I'm not even listening to you anymore. I'm just watching the puppies.
Yeah.
Can Toro just talk a little bit so we can see the puppies?
I cannot believe they're both on camera.
I want to see the little Chewbacca one.
This is the Chewbacca one. We named him Wicket because he doesn't have a huge forehead.
You need to make a little dog costume, like the hood kind of thing.
What we're gonna do is put some tree branches on Grim and put him in a Rocket Raccoon outfit so they can.
Nice.
Rocket, thank you. We're gonna try our best to do that. We'll see what happens.
There's no trying the best. It's you just do it.
He's just sitting.
So
there
without,
you're falling.
Without spoilers, Turo,
Yeah.
Tell us your thoughts on Doctor Who.
Oh, River Song comes back. It's so awesome.
Damn it!
I'm kidding.
She doesn't come back. She's dead.
Forever.
Just like everyone else.
Yep.
Damn it!
Including the writers of this show.
Yeah, no, tell me about it. But let's let Turo have his piece, and then we'll go down the panel because I know we all have strong.
I'm like 3 episodes into the new season. Don't turn me off of that now.
No.
There's no spoilers, but go ahead, Turo.
It's fantastic. I am loving it. I really am loving it. Since from the first episode going through, I am just loving every bit of it. I have not. Every Doctor takes a while for me to like that it happens that I've seen. Oh my gosh, you just jumped over. Okay. But this one has been the fastest that I've ever actually just was like, yep, I like this guy. Let's go. Boom. It was
I'm finding I'm not hating it. Like I really thought I was gonna not like it as much.
I really like it. It's just by this. I think I can say by the end of the first episode, with the phone call, and
All right, I'm not there yet, so let's not.
yeah.
You're not at the end of the first episode? I thought you.
Oh wait, yeah, I'm at the end. I'm like 3 episodes in.
Oh, okay.
The phone call at the end of the first
The
episode.
phone call
Yeah,
at the end of the
well,
first
we
episode.
already discussed what that phone call was. It was for the character in the show and the audience, and it just that kind of set the whole mood, and it was a very hold your hand, it's okay, and it felt good, and it felt right, and then from then on, I was like, yeah.
So I want to take this opportunity to kind of say that there are 2 camps on this podcast. Turo and Dave fall into the I'm not hating it / I love it, and then there is the man who's barely containing himself, along with me, and Matt is more on the tepid side.
Look. Just because Tor and I aren't like a part of the teenage girl fans that just hate it because it's not like some young,
Matt Smith.
good-looking guy.
Wait a minute, Joe.
Just because we're like real fans, and you guys aren't, doesn't mean you have to like set up camps.
So go ahead, Daniel. What are your thoughts?
This isn't Twilight.
Have you guys? I'm guessing you guys have never seen any Doctor Who before this season. That's my guess. Because if you
What are you
had,
talking about? I was watching black
Matt
and
Smith.
white
Matt
episodes.
Smith, I was lukewarm about Matt Smith, but this season, the writing has been absolutely terrible. They've copied and pasted from other stories that other authors have written to turn them into very poorly written and poorly produced episodes.
I'm still liking it.
Single One.
And the
What are you talking
the
about?
doctor,
They
the
did a whole
doctor is an
Fantastic
asshole.
Voyage thing.
It was awesome. Him being a caretaker, awesome.
The
Yeah,
doctor,
Because they haven't done that before at all.
Well, the last two were not. I'm thinking it's the Moffat scripts. The Moffat scripts have been abysmal. The last two have been better, and if you notice, he only co-wrote the last two.
So I have to agree. Time Heist and
The gatekeeper, groundkeeper.
the caretaker.
Caretaker.
Guys got
They were
Emmys
actually
now, dude.
they weren't absolutely terrible, and I actually like the subplots on
They've got the plots backwards.
But-
They're making the interesting plots the subplots, and the not interesting ones the main plots. There's definite balance issues. Sorry, I'm stealing.
I actually like Capaldi. I like the actor. I've seen him in other things. I think that he's a very genuine actor in the other things that he does. I'm not a big fan of him as the Doctor so far, and I think you're right. I think it's the writing. But I've seen when he's been in Doctor Who before, and I didn't have a problem with him then. He's been in Three Musketeers, and I liked him there. I'm not a big fan so far of Doctor Who this year, and I love Doctor Who, so I really have my fingers crossed that this is all going to be a dream sequence written by David Tennant pretending to be the Doctor, or some weird backhanded plots that would have fit in one of the old ones.
Yeah,
but I've said my piece.
I actually don't. I mean, I just don't like the way they're writing the Doctor. He's an asshole.
They are pushing that.
Can we go back to the thing where David Tennant comes back? Because I really like that.
I like that part. No, that was the first 4 seasons when it came back. I still like more than Matt Smith stuff, and I still am liking more than what's on right now because I loved those first 4 seasons. It was just sticky. It was all stuck together, and it made sense, and it was beautiful. And then Stephen Moffat came and took over, and it just kind of went everywhere. And it was his rules kind of thing. And that's where this one's going too. But I'm enjoying this season more than the past 3. But not the first 4. Those were amazing. And then the older stuff, I still giggle every time I see the 4th Doctor doing some things and the 3rd Doctor with Joe. And it just makes me giggle, some of the things when I watch them, some of the serials there. But anyway, I'm losing it. Yes, they're redoing episodes, but I don't know if it's going to have a purpose later in the season finale. I don't know where it's going because a lot of episodes kind of do that, especially Moffat stuff. He takes a whole episode to tell a story, and he kind of forces the whole, there's going to be a connection at the end, like the cracks. They shoved that in your face on season 5. It was like, oh, it zoomed in on a crack. Oh, what's it going to be? It's going to connect it at the end of the season. And it just shoved it in your face. And with this one, I get it that they're doing little bits and pieces, but it actually is interesting. I want to know what it leads up to because I have no clue. And I don't know if there's a reason why they're rehashing a bunch of storylines to get to that point. And if not, then it is kind of a big bummer. I'm just being patient.
So I'm not even talking about them rehashing old episodes as new content. I'm talking about them copying and pasting other media, like Fantastic Voyage or The Story of Robin Hood, and literally not even doing their homework, writing it up. They're just copying and pasting the story over and changing everything so it says the Doctor instead of Scientist X.
And without spoiling the ending of that Robin Hood episode was perhaps the worst fucking ending to anything I have ever watched ever. That
right there should tell you how he feels about it.
Ever. Anything ever written that is the worst episode I have ever seen. I like the Robin Hood one. The ending to that is the worst thing I've ever seen written.
The ending or the ending?
Like the ending of the story or the last little bit?
The ending of that episode. How it's solved.
How was resolved.
The resolution to the conflict, not the little tag at the end.
Correct.
Okay.
So I will say,
I agree.
Churro, I have to agree. There are some things I hope turn out to be bigger than what they are. For example, the episode Listen, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but the bad guy from the episode Listen, I thought could be just as good, if not better, than the Weeping Angels or the Silence. Some of these villains that have come up in the past seasons that I thought were amazing. I thought that the villains from that would be amazing. And then guess what? At the end of the episode, the writers got lazy, and it turned into what it turned into. And
which is also just an egregious
yeah.
logic fault, even for Doctor Who. I can forgive a lot of Doctor Who logic. That just makes no sense at all.
I do have to say with
such potential.
I do have to say with the Time Heist episode, I liked the characters they introduced, and I was actually, well, I can't say that, but I was actually surprised.
Now there was the Doctor that I'm expecting Capaldi to be.
Yeah,
because
I have
think about what he was in that. That was what I was expecting.
Yeah, but he was still a little too much dick. I mean, that's the best way.
That's not.
But they're pushing that on you.
How many of the original Doctors were dicks?
Yeah, that's what I was
How many of the original Doctors were dicks? The first Doctor, the fourth Doctor, the fifth Doctor, the sixth Doctor,
the sixth Doctor.
Seventh Doctor. They were all
the sixth
dicks.
Doctor. Huge.
I have to agree.
They were all dicks until they went to like let's hire only handsome guys.
And then the curly hair.
Half of them were also egotists, which fits the same profile.
If you were someone who was that old, you would be a dick. Like seriously.
Yeah, I mean he's 2,000 freaking years old.
So
he's dealing with these little monkeys with little brains.
We have a bunch of dick doctors. Got it.
And I think this Doctor Who conversation has run its course.
They're called urologists, Arturo.
I've got one thing. Now, when they set up this season, they did some interesting things with what Capaldi said after he got done being regeneration sick, which is now a thing that we always have to do. That they haven't really followed up on, but the one thing that has carried through, and I think this is where I'm looking at it as he regenerated as a grumpy old guy, and that's what he's out as a grumpy old guy. And I think the idea with this Doctor is, and they did this in, I believe it's Day of the Doctor, kind of went through this thing where all of the personas we've had since the restart of the season were personas that he put on to be able to deal with the aftermath of the Time War.
Yeah.
And he finally reached the point where he'd reached resolution with what happened in the Time War. He gained closure. It's like what's her face, Alicia Day at the end of Guild. Shut off the computer and walked away. He'd reached that resolution point with the Time War.
Yeah, spoilers.
I love that show.
It's been out there for several months. That's not his.
Forever.
And it's free. You can get it on anything.
If I've seen it, that means.
All right. Go on.
Back to the 80s. Marty McFly, back to the 80s.
Anyway, okay.
I like this episode.
So, but I think he's just trying to get back to who is he, no pun there, but who is he? He's been pretending to be someone else for so long and putting on these personas, trying to deal with the grief and the anger that he had from, that's his hatred for a soldier. It's not that he hates soldiers, he hates the fact that he was a soldier.
Yeah.
That's part of his life that he hates so much that he's transferred it into everything else.
Man, there was so much I want to yell at Pink.
The writers need to do a much better job.
I know. I am implying a ton of crap into that.
Bring RTD back. He'll fix everything.
I have to admit, I like Davies a much better showrunner than Moffat, but I think that they've got some potential here still. They haven't completely screwed the pooch on this yet, but if they don't get their heads out of their posteriors and get Moffat off of script writing, and I hate the way Moffat runs shows, because there's the premiere episode which sets up a storyline, then we ignore it for 6 episodes, then we have another episode with a storyline, arc storyline, then we ignore it for another thing until we get to the finale. He's done that format since he took over, and I hate it.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it and see.
I just can't believe that the grumpy old man is not Matt's favorite Doctor of all time.
I know, right? That's what I told him. I'm like
I
it's a
totally
doctor you
thought
should
they were
love.
catering to him at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I love Capaldi's portrayal of the Doctor. It still has an unseated 4. I mean, no, it's going to take a heck of a lot to unseat Tom Baker. Tom Baker still sold the scene in that one thing that I can't talk about because Mark will yell spoilers at me. That one thing that
Do
he
it
was
anyway.
in.
I was in the 70s.
Okay.
He still stole the scene.
Spoilers.
So Daniel.
Why do you have to yell at me?
I'm not yelling at you. You've been a busy guy.
Yeah. A little bit ago, I went to the GameStop Expo 2014. Saw a bunch of video games that have either recently come out or coming out soon. So I figured I'd talk about some of those. So I played the ones that I'm going to talk about today. So I can talk a little bit about those.
Give us an overview of all the ones you saw before we
Okay.
get into the ones that
So I'll start with the list. I went through and I've got articles up for many of them, and interviews up for many of them. So if you haven't gotten a chance, hit the site up, check out the interviews. Most of them are with producers or designers, like lead designers of the actual games.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start off. I played a little bit of Super Smash Brothers, but it looks like we had somebody that just dropped off.
That's right.
I played a little bit of Super Smash Brothers, but it was just it was a shortened character list. I didn't get to play. They didn't have like all of the characters that had been released. It was like only 8 or 9 different characters. So I got to play. I played Link. And other than a couple new levels, like I guess most levels are new, but a couple new levels, and then some of the items, like a Pokeball that had a Pokemon that I had never seen before that I threw as an item. It played exactly like the other Super Smash Brothers games. It was really entertaining. We played 2 or 3 rounds. That was pretty good. Mortal Kombat X, we just got to view. The line for it was crazy. Justin, the guy that went with me, my cameraman, actually waited in line for 45 minutes to play, and people weren't getting up. They were just staying in the seat, and since it wasn't being moderated, people didn't change out. But it looked like a lot of fun. It had some battle damage and a bunch of the characters, but it looked like it also had a truncated character listing. So it was only like certain characters that were able to being played. I played Falling Skies, which plays a lot like Shadowrun Returns. I don't know if you guys have gotten a chance. It's on Steam for pretty cheap, but it's a lot like the original Fallout games where you're playing bird's eye view. And Falling Skies takes place between the 3rd and 4th season of the show. So it's all about the TNT show, except you get to play as a group of people going around and killing skitters. That was a lot of fun, but it's set up as a strategy game, so I wouldn't expect first-person shooter or anything like that. Next one I've got on the list is Alien Isolation.
Well, hold that one. We'll talk about that one.
We'll talk about that one. I've also got Guilty Gear, and we'll talk about that one. Evil Within. So overall, I've played a few of the Resident Evil games. I haven't played a lot of them. You're going to kill me for pronouncing it wrong, but this one's directed by Shinji Mikami. Is that even close?
That's actually it.
Okay.
That's right.
His previous credits include the Resident Evil franchise. This is being lauded as his return back to true survival horror on consoles. I played it through. They didn't let us get any actual video of it, and I couldn't interview any. There wasn't anybody there that I could interview. But what I saw of it was pretty creepy. The atmosphere they had a really good atmosphere in the game. It really drew you into it. There really isn't a HUD. There's like a little thing in the corner that tells you kind of how many bullets you have. But I was running through a forest and there were things flying around and whispers in the corners. It was pretty creepy. So I thought that was pretty neat. Dying Light, I'll talk about in a little bit. And I played Costume Quest 2 for a little bit. That's actually the gameplay on that is actually in my interview on the site. It plays a lot like Costume Quest 1. What else? And I interviewed Matt Solly, the producer for
Shadows of Mordor.
Disney Infinity, Marvel. I had a nice long conversation with him, and then I actually got a chance to play Shadows of Mordor and walk through with one of the lead designers, and he was telling me all about the little nooks and crannies of the game and things that make this game unique. And I have to say, I have my copy is sitting at GameStop about half paid off, and I'm keeping myself because it was amazing. I played it for about 20 minutes.
We'll definitely talk about that here in a little bit as well. But let's talk first about Alien Isolation.
Okay.
That comes out next week.
It comes out the 7th. Yeah. So, go ahead.
No, what were your thoughts?
So this game, previous Aliens games, they take place. You're essentially a Marine. You get a big gun. You get a motion tracker, and you go hunt down these aliens. And there's a bunch of them. This game takes that whole idea and flips it on its head. You play Amanda, who's the daughter of Ellen Ripley, and Amanda was transferred to the space station Sevastopol to find the flight recorder for the Nostromo, which is the last place that saw Ellen Ripley. And there's an alien that's already infested the station, and so the whole point of the game is to survive and escape. You get a motion tracker, you get a flashlight, you can improvise some weapons like a flamethrower that made from different parts that you find around this station, but the flamethrower doesn't kill the alien or even damage the alien. It just kind of scares the alien off. And so it's a stealth game. It's a survival horror stealth game where the alien's AI is programmed to learn from what you are doing and hunt you using sight, sound, and smell. It also makes different noises depending on what its action is going to be. So as you're playing the game, you can learn what the alien is doing so that you can try to hide from it better. I got to play it for about 25
scary
minutes.
trial and error.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I got to play it for about 25 minutes, and it was, it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. It's always they did a lot of detail work. So you hold up the motion sensor in front of you, and you can see the little ping, ping, and everything beyond where the motion tracker is fuzzy. So you'll see like motion out of the corner of your eye, and you'll drop the motion sensor, and it'll be like a light that's swinging. So
and the sound effects are like from the movie.
The sound effects are from the movie.
The original entire cast, other than the Synthoid, is back.
So for this game itself, there's actually none of the main characters in the game itself. But if you're looking at even possibly buying this game, put your $5 down, because the pre-order gets you 2 additional missions that are going to be DLC later. That both of them are missions where you can play as one of the original crew or Ellen Ripley, and it doesn't tie to this game at all. It's its own kind of thing. But all of the cast, like Mark just said, all of the cast came back. And they all play their original characters for these missions that take place during the first movie. So where a lot of the other, like the game that should never be mentioned, Colonial Marine, where you're this guy that's out there shooting them, this brings it back to the first Alien movie, which was more survival horror, situational horror, not.
So we're finally getting a good Aliens game since the game that was out on the Commodore 64.
Yes.
I like the arcade one, man.
This was my number 1C for the Expo. This was the game I actually went to see, and they didn't disappoint. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun. And I don't like horror games. Like, for instance, PT, you guys were talking about it a couple weeks ago.
Oh my god, I shit my pants on that.
I played it for 5 minutes, and then I deleted it.
What?
I walked down the hallway and turned a corner and then went, nope, and deleted it. I
wish I would have done that.
But
I turned the corner a bunch of times and it just kept getting worse.
You guys are a bunch of babies.
That may be true. I will accept that. That's fine. I don't play horror games, and so I love horror movies. I don't play horror games, but this is a game that I played and loved, and I will definitely be getting.
There's this cool game called Five Nights at Freddy's. You should totally watch it.
Yeah.
It looks like you're playing it because he's in the dark and he holds a little like an iPad camera thing. It actually looks like you're playing it right now.
No, you're good. So
how does it compare to say the original Dead Space?
Less baddies. See, even Dead Space yeah, you were running away for part of it and hiding for part of it, but for the most part, you're still going out there and beating these things to death. You're not going to be able to do that with this alien. Like, for example, there's a part where I'm running through the space station and I'm caught in there, so I can't escape, and the alien's in there with me, so I'm running around in a circle, sneaking, and I can run, but if I run, you can hear your footsteps, and so can it. So you're running, and then you hear like a part of the ceiling drop, and you hear something heavy drop behind you, and so you have to run and hide, and you can hide in a locker, but then and you've got these little slats, and you see it stop outside the locker and like look around, and you know it's smelling you because it's like looking for you where you were, and if you don't do anything.
Yeah, I think I need to have this game.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And the play that they had there, they had a bunch of game systems set up for us to play, which is when I got to play, and they had a 2-hour line for the challenge. And the challenge was this giant xenomorph egg that had a door. You get inside, and it had a little bit of mood lighting, but other than that, it was completely dark. You had a controller and a screen, and you are timed to escape. You have to escape this one level that they made specifically for the challenge. You have to escape it in under 3 minutes without the alien getting you. And if you can do that, you win a Nostromo's jacket, which is the jacket that was made off of aliens in the beginning of this game. I couldn't wait 2 hours to play it, so I just couldn't. I couldn't. Not at the end of the day, but it was.
You could be wearing a sweet jacket right now, but you did.
Yeah, seriously.
Did you not hear my story about PT? I'm just wondering.
You understand how cool we would have thought you were if you had that jacket right now?
That's a lie. Nothing I can make would make me look cool.
What are you talking about? You got that tattoo and everything.
Yeah, you inspired this, you jerk.
So Daniel, did the developer, did you see any of those jackets given out?
So I didn't. Out of the two, okay. So the first day of the expo is for managers, for GameStop managers, and they had one manager the first day. Out of 400 people that had tried the first day, they had one person get a jacket. The second day, which was the day that I was there, they had already had 450 people try because they'd started really early, and no one had won it. So. Yeah, I didn't. They had it sitting there, but nobody had won it.
You know why no one did?
Because it was rigged.
Because you
didn't try.
Oh,
nice.
Snap.
Nice. Okay, so that's what I think about that. I will be in line to get it on the 7th, most definitely.
You've just got that game in pre-order.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna tell them that when I go to your GameStop tomorrow.
I really want that game now. It sounds awesome. I'll just have to wait.
Even if you're thinking
pre-ordered,
drop the $5. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I gotta get that. Because I gotta go there tomorrow because Smash Brothers comes out tomorrow, doesn't it?
No, it comes out Friday.
What? I thought it said Thursday.
I think
October
it's Friday.
3rd.
Oh.
Yeah. So Daniel, we have an interview for Alien Isolation up on the site.
Friday.
We do. And definitely check it out. It's one of the longer ones. Okay, so here's the thing. They didn't really want us getting gameplay footage on that one as well. So the video that takes up the last 2/3 of that interview is video of me playing the game. Occasionally, my cameraman will point at it at the screen so you can get like little clips. But I essentially talk about what I'm doing and what I'm seeing and the different details and stuff. So just to give you a heads up there. The interview's good though, and it talks about the different things that went into making the game and how the game is and that kind of stuff.
Man, I wish I'd asked for that for my birthday instead of Destiny.
So, there's a couple of us that like fighting games, and I know you got to see one that I am eagerly chomping at the bit for, which is Guilty Gear
Xrd.
Yeah.
Xrd. Yeah.
Xrd.
Heaven or hell.
So we have an interview for that one as well. So go ahead and look that up too. But so there are some things that really, really spoke to me about this game. I'm not a big like side-to-side fighter game person, but it was beautiful.
Side to side.
Yeah, I know. It's very apparent by
Seriously.
side-scrolling.
Yeah.
2D fighter.
I only
Start calling it that.
baskets when playing football.
That made me feel old. I never feel old, but that made me feel old when you said that.
I don't play Street Fighter type games.
Got it.
Okay. So the game,
sir.
when you're looking at the trailer, you see the characters side by side fighting, and then in the trailer it cuts to what looks like anime, like unique anime written for this game. Well, that was one of the biggest things that we had talked about with the guy from Axis, is that they actually use the Unreal Engine.
Yep.
Unreal 3 engine to make the scene three-dimensional, but look like it was drawn in anime. So when you are fighting, you'll do your special move, and it actually rotates a set of programmed cameras that make it look like unique anime written, except that that's a unique thing. So it's not written prior. I'm saying this really, really poorly.
No,
I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying.
So,
you're saying the engine renders every scene like in real time. So even though it's not actually, it looks 2D, but actually it is fully 3D, and the engine just can completely render the scene on the fly in context to the game.
Yeah, it was not animated pre-game.
That is exactly right. Thank you. Yes, that's awesome.
That's why you have me around.
So
is that what it's for?
I haven't played.
I know stuff about stuff.
But it has a system, a tension gauge that is for your special abilities, and it only increases when you're moving towards your opponent or attacking. If you're defending or moving away, it actually decreases the bar. I thought that was really slick.
Yes.
So it really pushes aggressive play.
Dave, no turtling for you.
No. Didn't they? Wait a minute. All right. It's been a while since I played Guilty Gear. All right, I'll be honest. I played like the two of them before, like Guilty Gear X, like back in the day. Didn't they have something similar to that, where they had like kind of like an aggression meter that rewarded you for offensive play?
This isn't new to Xrd. It's a Guilty Gear. I guess it's a Guilty Gear thing.
Yeah, I thought that
like
was
the Street Fighter Super Combo Bar, that kind of stuff. But for
yeah,
Guilty
I thought that was kind of like already in that.
I just thought that was unique, definitely unique for this style of game. I'd never played a game like it before.
Did they talk about a release date here in the States?
So they couldn't give me anything straight up, but they said that they were looking at the holiday season.
That's a happy thing to hear. And did they happen to talk about how many fighters there were or anything like that?
So 14 characters right now for the one that's for the game that is originally in Japan. There's a company in the U.S. that's transferring it over. Japan just announced 2 additional characters, so we'll probably be looking at that as DLC.
Awesome.
I got to play a character named Bedman, and it's a guy who's comatose, strapped into a robotic bed, and the bed has like morning star hands and feet that like attack people.
I'm pre-ordering it just
so
for that.
Old.
Yeah.
I was like, when I saw it, when we were going through characters, I go, yep. And Justin goes, so you don't play games like this very often? And I said, yeah, like never. And then I kicked his butt twice. And then the guy that was there was like, wow, you beat him with Bedman. Hardly anybody plays Bedman.
It has the worst name ever, though.
Guilty Gear Xrd? Yes, I agree.
Xrd, whatever. Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
It should be X, but you know whatever.
So if you like that style of game, definitely look forward around Christmas. That's my guess.
And then last but not least, Dying Light.
Dying freaking Light.
Now that's Q1 of next year, correct?
Q1. So he couldn't give me a straight up date either, but that's what he hinted at. And then I've seen that in other media. So that would be my guess, is Q1 next year.
So just real quick, for those people not familiar with Dying Light, this is the zombie game that incorporates Mirror's Edge for all intents and purposes. There's a lot of parkour, and you can do stuff during the day, but you cannot win against zombies during the nighttime.
Talk to me.
So it allows free running, which is what Mark was just talking about. You can climb over things, you can jump over things, you can run and slide under things. It's extremely free movement, which was pretty awesome. Which was really awesome. So if you've played Dead Island, it had a very similar feel in combat and the types of zombies. We got an interview with one of the lead designers. Definitely check it out. He talks about a mode of the game that'll be included with the pre-orders. He talks about his favorite things about the game. Definitely check it out. I think I said that 6 times, so that means that you should definitely go check it out 7 times. So the zombies themselves, he said, during the day there's biters. That's what he calls the ones during the day, and they're essentially the ones that are slow moving and they try to bite you. They try to get the nook of your neck, essentially. But as I'll get into in just a second, that's not the only thing that happens. I was jumping, I was grabbing things, I was moving over things, I was using a bat that had some nails in it to beat stuff down. It had a very Mirror's Edge feel mixed with like Dead Island. That being said, he also said that the nighttime shift, just because you can run and jump and hide on tall buildings and biters don't really find you or get there, there's other zombies that come out at night, and the population increases, so some zombies will come after you and climb things just like you. I wanted to see what the biters were like, and we could only play. It was a 3-minute demo that I played 3 times, but it was only essentially a day shift cycle, and then it would start over. But I went around and I like tapped on some biters so that they'd follow me, and I got like 15 or 16 of these biters, and I found the metal what is it called, safety guard that's on the side of the road.
Guardrail.
Yeah, guardrail. So there was a guardrail. I snuck over and had a whole bunch of them following me, and I jumped over the guardrail because I wanted to see what the physics were like, if they would just stand on the other side like Left 4 Dead zombies do most of the time, or if they would do something. Well, they came up and pushed against the guardrail and started flopping over, like bending at the waist and then falling over into a heap. And they just kept doing that because there were so many of them that created like a pile of zombies. And they're all trying, instead of like them clipping each other like I expected, it was one zombie standing halfway through another zombie, they were a pile of zombies that were like moving over each other like you would expect to see in like Walking Dead or something that portrays zombies in that light.
Frat party.
So I look down on the ground, I see there's no zombies there to bite me, I walk up to the pile and I start going to town, beating the crap out of this pile of zombies. Then an amazing thing happened, and it's the reason this game shot to the top of my list for Quarter 1. A zombie who was crawling out from underneath the pile and still pinned halfway under the pile started eating me. Like the physics actually had it so that it was crawling out from under the pile and started gnawing on my leg, and so I had to kick it off and beat it to death. But I thought that was genius. I've never seen a zombie game that goes to that level of detail. So yeah, I thought it was amazing. So pre-order.
Now the ones that come out at night, the freaks. Are they like the ninja zombies that happen in like some movies, like the remakes of the Romero movies?
So there's a couple. He said there's a couple different types of zombies, just like you'd expect to see in a zombie game. There are quite a few that do parkour, just like you do. And then there's big ones. There's big ones that you don't want to fight. Like you see it off in the distance, and you can't win. Even if you're in a team, a co-op, it's a 4-player co-op. Even if you were in a 4-player co-op, there's still a good chance you couldn't take it down.
Oh, that's their version of an invisible wall, then.
Yeah, I think I'm out.
And the interesting thing for multiplayer for me is that I can invade you guys' game as one of those zombies at night.
So that's the night.
You're the parkour.
The Night Hunter. That's what I was going to mention next. That's the pre-order bonus. So if you do not get the pre-order bonus, it may come out as DLC later. He didn't say, but he said from game start, if you don't do the pre-order bonus, you can be invaded, but you cannot invade. And this is a setting that you can set on your game, so you can say, I don't want anybody to invade me at night, so to speak. I don't want only my friends or anyone. And so what will happen is, for instance, let's say Turo, Mark, and Dave are playing, and you guys are playing a campaign mode co-op. And I log on, and I see that you guys, it's a nighttime, like it's nighttime in your guys' game, and I also have the game. I can
What is
jump
that everybody
over
saying you guys is?
you guys'
You
your
guys,
game. Better?
Yeah.
Your
and
guys' game.
I would transfer over to Dave's game, smartass, and I would and it starts a like mini game where there's hives that pop up with zombies escaping, and you have to destroy all the hives before I kill your group 6 times. And if I kill your group 6 times, I win.
Nice.
And then as soon as I win,
So
that
that's like
mini game
self-contained,
ends.
though?
Yeah. So when that game ends, regardless of if you died or not, because you'll respawn, regardless of you dying or not, I'll go back to my game, and you guys move forward. So it doesn't end your night. It doesn't count as a loss really for you, other than fun PvP.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well.
Yeah. So
I have to
I
see
don't want
how.
you to think. I don't want you to think there's an invisible wall. It's just there's like boss zombies, just like there are in other games.
you can't beat them. You just said
Well,
yeah,
I
you
said
gotta run instead of. I mean, you just know flat out, hey, this is something that we can't take down. You
Yeah,
got-
but I don't like ninja zombies, dude.
yeah, the parkour thing. That was kind of
That's so un-Romero. Like the whole zombie thing. The thing that makes zombies terrifying is that they're going to get you no matter what because there's so many of them.
Yeah, but do you like runner zombies?
No, I don't.
Okay, well,
Yeah, that's why I never played Left 4 Dead. I hate that game.
What you're telling me is there is not a zombie game on the market that you like, since all of them do that.
That is not true.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Thank you very much. Thank you, Toro. Again.
It's just because there's no room for them to run. That's not because they can't.
Because
run.
there's so many of them.
Exactly.
Zombies.
Why is Toro the only one that gets this?
Why are there 14,000 zombies in a mall?
Because it's the mall.
Because everybody goes to the mall. It's a statement of society.
I've never seen a mall that's that packed as Dead Rising malls.
That's because you don't live in like civilization, apparently.
Can I just say that I'm
Friday.
like so zombied out that I have zero interest in this game?
you
Like
can
zombies have been done to death, pun not intended.
You can only say that you're zombied out.
I am so zombied out. I'm so sick of them.
Yeah,
They're just this spin on vampires and werewolves and all the stuff that's been coming out.
yeah, and at least
Before
zombies
zombies.
don't sparkle.
And
so-
I hate vampires right now too because I'm so sick of vampires not being evil.
You said
I
you're an
don't
author. You write on
I
a
don't hate
typewriter.
vampires at the moment because apparently there's like an anniversary edition of Interview with a Vampire coming out on Blu-ray this week that I'm getting tomorrow.
Yep.
Have you been watching The Strain, Kate?
Very excited about that.
You should watch The Strain.
Evil
I've heard-
vampires. Very,
I'll
very
check
evil
it out.
vampires.
So, any other questions for Daniel about GameStop Expo 2014?
Was it stinky?
Actually, no. It had really good air conditioning. It was in the Anaheim Convention Center, which is pretty huge. But
Now,
there was a
didn't
lot
look
less
like it was-
people than I expected.
I was gonna say it didn't look very well attended from the videos. Was it pretty sparse or?
I mean, it wasn't like my wife and I went to the Phoenix Comic Con, which had 77,000 people. So when comparing this to that, this was a drop in the bucket. This was nothing.
Yeah, and the thing you have to remember is that this is more really for the Manager's Day, and then they open it up to certain GameStop rewards club people. Like, for example, they did invite me legitimately beyond the press pass, but I didn't get the invitation till like 2 weeks before the conference. And because of that, there would have been no way that I could have made travel arrangements to get out there on that short notice. So I think that's part of the reason is a lot of people aren't even aware that this expo necessarily exists yet, but it has grown in attendance over the last several years. So I would expect it's eventually, as long as GameStop stays relevant, I would expect that convention to grow as well, because it is an actual public-facing like PAX or unlike E3.
So there was actually one more thing that I saw that I forgot about that Kate's gonna hate. It's a zombie MMO that's coming out where you get together with your friends and you build it has a constructible environment. So you build yourself like forts and fortresses, and you collect resources, and then other teams of living people can actually come and raid your fort, and zombies can raid your fort.
Is it called Fortnite?
No, that would be a better.
If you got to play as the zombies and it was an MMO, that might be kind of interesting.
So what was the name of this game, Daniel?
H1Z1.
Oh! And that is coming to PlayStation.
Yeah.
So PlayStation.
And that's SOE, so it'll probably die really quick.
Oh.
Dave.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. So you've got some glowies behind your head there.
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta turn it back on because it went off.
You should just pull it off the shelf and show it to the camera.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Because
so pretty.
My ability to
Does
Dave be either hilarious?
Does Dave makes his dex check? Find out.
Keep talking so we can see it.
It's all right. Hold on, it's coming, and I got it lit. Check it out.
Nice.
All right, this is apparently. Hold on, I can't see the screen with this thing because it's so huge. This is the special edition thing that comes with the Infinity thing that I drunk bought a few weeks back, apparently. And you know something? Worth it. There's a lot of glowing blue in this, so it's kind of awesome. So there's a display that lights up that has a big giant, like a frost giant, that they're fighting, and you can set up all the Avengers. In this case, I have half the Guardians, half the Avengers, because I'm playing with some of the Avengers over there. You can't see that. And you know something? I really like this display thing.
Yeah, does that double as a usable base for
I don't
the game?
think it does.
Okay.
I really think this is just a display thing.
It doesn't. It's just for display.
Yeah, it is totally just for display. I can't find anything, any documentation says that this should be, you know, something for. Oops, I turned it off.
It was one of the questions that I asked off camera. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It is. This thing is really awesome, and I'm actually not upset that I have it.
So how much time have you logged up until this point?
I've got a few hours in the game.
And what about you, Daniel?
So I've got about 3, but the kids have like 35. So I actually had a question for you, Dave. Have you been able to use any of the non-Avengers in the Avengers level?
Yes.
How?
So the way you do it, I know the answer to this, so I'm going to tell you and jump in.
Dude, no, I actually did it. So let me
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's tokens. Okay. So I've been playing as Rocket in the Avengers. There's these tokens that are littered around the level, and you collect like 10 of them for each character. So far, I've only seen Nova and Rocket. I haven't unlocked Nova yet, but I have unlocked Rocket. I did that on the first day. It was pretty easy because like the tokens happen to be around like where your mission objectives were. So you collect 10 tokens, and then you're able to bring in the character if you have the actual character. You can drop them in. The best part about it, the really cool thing about it, it's not just you're dropping in Rocket into the Avengers levels, is there's a whole subset of levels that go along with Rocket specifically. It's just like, you know, Nick Fury's jumping in, which it sounds exactly like Samuel L. Jackson. They got him playing the voice?
No, it's an imitator, but it's really good.
He's a really good Samuel L. Jackson imitator because he sounds exactly like him. I thought that was the only one they actually got. But so they have like, you know, so Nick Fury starts giving out the missions.
I think it is Samuel L. Jackson.
Is it?
I'll look.
The guy I asked said it wasn't. So yeah, look it up. That'd be awesome if it was. He's in everything, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
I'm almost positive because he showed up at the press event for Infinity 2.0 along with Phil, the guy that plays Agent Coulson, and I thought they had said that they were both in the game. So I'll check while you guys talk about it.
Cool. But the awesome thing is, so when you finally when you unlock Rocket, you bring him in, but he gets a whole subset of his own levels that are like tailored to Rocket. So it's kind of awesome. Like it's not like just like you're plugging him into Avengers levels. Like it unlocks a whole chain of levels that are specific for. And they mentioned the Guardians of the Galaxy are here to help us out. And you know, Rocket's got to do this, and you know, unlock these transporters and everything. So it's a whole other path that opens up in the game, after you get these tokens. So it's actually pretty cool. So you have to have the piece, but once you get the tokens in the game, you can then drop the piece in and then just play along normally.
Do you have to buy them in order? Sorry.
No. You just pick them up as you go.
I was gonna say, so like the characters that you could drop in, are there only specific ones that you can pick? Like, can you put like Cinderella or something in the Avengers line?
Yeah, apparently it is very specific as to which ones they allow you to cross-play.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I want to say in the Avengers, it's just Rocket, Nova, I think Spidey. And
I haven't seen any Spidey tokens at all.
I thought he said it was. I'm gonna have to go back and look. I thought he said that it would because the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they wanted complete crossover.
No, it's only specified ones, and they call them crossover tokens or crossover coins. So if you're looking up like a wiki online of how to find them all, that's what you need to search for is the crossover coins.
But seriously, man, look at these things. Like, they're so good. Like this is the Drax, and he is just like completely like it's like this awesome like animated version of like the comic versions of them. So like, I just love the look of everything, and like check out how badass the Thor is.
That's really frustrating because I can't cross over Groot.
Yeah, it really sucks that you can't. But I'm looking forward to playing the Guardians of the Galaxy levels because of that. So I mean, it definitely gives you something to play through the rest of the game. Like I can't wait to play the Guardians of the Galaxy one. I started with the Avengers, so I want to finish up the Avengers run, with them. I got the deluxe edition for the PlayStation, so I got the Hulk already. Which I have people wanting to kick my ass over that at work because there are people that got it for the Wii or something, the Wii U. The guy got it for Wii U for his kids. He's got a PlayStation 4, but the Wii U was for the kids. So we got it for the Wii U. So there's no Hulk yet. And, so everybody's freaking out about that. And the Hulk's awesome. He's so much fun to play in that.
So, Dave, I know this is your first foray into physical crack. Congratulations, and you're welcome.
Yeah,
but, Daniel, did you play the original Infinity?
Yep, I played the original Infinity. I played the first two Skylanders games.
But so you played Infinity. What's your comparison so far between the two?
The toy box is bigger. I like that there is some crossover with the different levels because that was one of my biggest problems with the first Disney Infinity game is that I have Buzz Lightyear, but I can't.
Have this, but you can't do anything frickin' with it.
Yeah, he's only available in the toy box. The cool part is though, for those, all of the Disney Infinity minifigs can be played in the toy box for Disney Infinity 2.0, and they all have updated skill sets. So one of the biggest things about Disney Infinity 2.0, both Marvel and otherwise, is that they have. I'm hearing music. That
might be in my head. Sorry.
Oh, I'll bet you it's an ad. They have a skill set, like a skill tree, so that you can make Iron Man really, really hard to kill. He has like an energy shield on top of him, so it's really, really hard to kill. And they actually did that for all of the older play too. So you can bring Mr. Incredible from the first play set, and he'll have a power set, a skill set that you can level him up and
crap, there's Mr. Incredible too. I gotta find that.
You mean this one right here?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Damn it.
So I thought that was pretty slick. We have yet to buy any of the.
Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need one of these too.
We have yet to buy any of the additional.
No, I don't care about the Pirates of the Caribbean. I have Wreck-It Ralph and Jack Skellington already, but now I need to get Incredibles.
Sorry, Daniel. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're fine. Yeah, I was just saying that it's awesome that they allowed those to be updated so that somebody playing Mr. Incredible in the toy box isn't completely deficient when playing with a Marvel 2.0 character.
So Matt,
Loki, he looks so cool.
Yeah, he does. Matt, I know you've been on the fence about this for a while.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
Dude, wait a minute. Where's Mr. Incredible?
I don't know. I was going to pose to the kids to see if they wanted to co-fund it, and then tonight I just had to ban one of them from games for a month. So,
Oh.
well,
Ouch.
actually, all electronic entertainment for a month. So,
Wow, they must have done something real bad.
well, it was a repeat offense, but
Doing that crack cocaine, eh?
yeah, you know,
Now
that's a
all
big
those
thing.
freaks are from Wisconsin.
They
All right,
are.
so
So,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, I see that Walk This Way commercial. I don't know what it is about that commercial, but my kids watch a lot of Disney Channel, and it's on Disney Channel about every other commercial break. And it really, really, really makes me want to buy the game. I don't know what it is about that commercial. If you haven't seen it,
I'm not gonna lie, that's the greatest commercial ever made for a video game.
I don't know what it is about that commercial, but it just makes me want to just run out and buy that game.
It's
Dude,
Aerosmith.
Yeah,
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith is great. Just
But
the whole like Iron Man just like strutting and
blind shot.
Can you use the levels in the new one from the old game?
I have no idea. I don't
Daniel,
think
have you
so.
tried? Daniel, have you tried taking them
I
to the old-
haven't. I haven't tried, but I don't think they do.
I would think maybe it would allow you to import some stuff into the toy box, maybe, but I don't think it would support the levels. Because I think all that does is really unlock the content that's already on the disc. But I don't know. I'm still on the fence. If the kids end up wanting to fund it or co-fund it.
How can you be on the fence? Look at Star-Lord.
Well, no, the figures for the first game are amazing. I mean,
Yeah,
I have
you
no
need one of
regrets.
these too.
Yeah, I have no regrets.
you need
I've
a-
got
Where's
Incredible-
Mr. Incredible? I can't find him on Amazon.
He's in
the
the
Gen
Incredible
1.
set.
It's an original. It's for the original version.
Just do
But I
Disney
mean,
Infinity.
it's the entire family in Syndrome. I mean, I've got that entire set. I've got.
I need the
most of all
Incredibles
the
now.
sets. So I mean, the figures are amazing. I mean, even if you just put them on a shelf and let them sit there, they're just amazingly well done figures. They're far better than the last batch of Skylanders were. But I don't know. I honestly don't think I ever finished a single thing. I didn't even finish any of the story missions, which I thought were decent in the first Disney Infinity. The first batch of story missions weren't bad. They were actually pretty fun. A little repetitive, but they were pretty fun. But I don't think I ever finished any of them because after we realized you couldn't import other characters into the mission levels and that we couldn't play Toy Box the way we wanted to play Toy Box, I really just kind of dropped it off to the side and walked away. The kids played it some more, but they still never played it as much as they played Landers game.
Okay,
So-
this is important. Yeah, I need you to stop being a hater for 1 second and tell me how to get the Incredibles.
It's the Incredibles playset. Search for Disney Infinity Incredibles playset.
Yeah, I mean Mr.
Mr.
Incredible
Mr.
was one of
Incredible-
the starters.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mr. Incredible was one of the starters, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure of that. Violet and Elastigirl came in a pack. Dash was only available in a solo, or was no, he wasn't mixed with Syndrome. Syndromes came with another villain.
Mirage?
No, there's not another villain. Syndrome's the only villain for Incredibles.
Oh, damn it, this is...
Mirage is gray area.
Yeah, but there's not a Mirage character.
Apparently 3/4 of the pack of these ciders make it hard to type.
Okay. So, while Dave does that, Kate.
Yes.
Chef.
Yeah, let's skip that. We're running short on time.
Get Chef the movie. It's an awesome movie. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, there you go. Kate, Gotham.
Yeah, it got a lot. Like, I really liked the pilot, and the second episode was even better. Like, it's going the way I hoped it was going to go, which is a procedural that, just happens to have some of these famous Batman people in it sometimes. Because, Batman exists because Gotham is such a shitty city. Like, obviously there's going to be villains that existed before Batman, and even when Batman's in the city, there are villains that he has nothing to do with. Like, there's obviously going to be murderers and rapists, and like in this episode, child snatchers who say fudge and gosh and stuff, but have no problem shooting kids down a bottomless well. Lily Taylor was in it, and I love Lily Taylor, so I was really excited to see her. And as the episodes go on, I'm so like in love with Oswald right now. Like, I think the guy who's playing him is awesome, and I just kind of want to give him a hug because everything goes wrong for him. He's like the worst criminal ever. But yeah, no, I thought it was a great episode, and the girl who's playing Selena is awesome, and she was being like the perfect street rat, bratty kid, and I have nothing but praise for that show right now.
Awesome.
Anyone else? Any other thoughts?
Has anybody else seen it? Seen this week's episode?
Didn't see this week's episode yet because I'm trying to wait for Carrie to watch it with me. Because she said she would watch that show. So I need to catch up on that.
Daniel, are you tracking it?
I am. I saw the first episode, and I've got the other one on my DVR, but I haven't seen it yet.
Got it. Turo? You're on mute, Turo.
There we go. I fixed it. I should, and I will soon. It looks interesting, and I want to watch it. I'll get to it eventually. I know all the shows are coming back. I just got a new game, but I'll find some time for it.
So, Kate, the other thing I saw your DOA girl go up on the site as well, and then we had some face-off review.
Yeah, this week was essentially a Monster High episode where they had to make typical kind of high school tropes like jock, cheerleader, and stuff, but they had to be mythical creatures. So you had like the fawn cheerleader, or the goblin jock or the goblin nerd kind of thing, and it was a really cute episode.
Please tell me there was a unicorn football player.
There was no unicorn available.
It.
The only choices were fawn, minotaur, goblin, cyclops. I think those were the choices.
That's
but
it.
I loved the emo. Both the emo ones were great for the makeups. Like,
so Matt, you really need to watch this show.
I love the show, actually. I need to catch up. I just have to find the episodes.
Like, because there was jock, cheerleader, nerd, and emo kid. So they had, one of them did an emo fawn that looked just like Marilyn Manson, like seriously.
Oh, I saw that picture. It does. It's creepy.
And then there was the Minotaur. I really liked the Minotaur emo because she did a female, and you always see a Minotaur as a male, so this was essentially a cow instead of a bull, right? Because a female Minotaur would be a cow. Even though essentially there is no female Minotaur because it was just one creature, but if you look as if it had evolved and mated, there would be females. So I thought it was a really cool, different take on it, and it looked really neat. But yeah, it was a cute little episode. It was way better than, last week with the clowns, because I don't like clowns.
I'm thinking Galaxy High when you're talking about this stuff. And I got excited that they were bringing it back.
No, Monster High.
Because Doyle has a lot to learn.
No, more like Monster High, the toy line.
Yeah. So, Matt.
Yeah.
I was going to talk. I had something else to talk about.
Go ahead.
Yeah, bitch.
Sailor Dash.
Oh, that's right.
I downloaded that on. It's Android only right now. It's a Japanese fan-based side-scroller Sailor Moon game. So it's like an old-school Mario or Mega Man. The controls, everything's in Japanese. There's no English. It's really, really simple, though, the controls. Like, it's just basically, because the screen moves on her own and she runs on her own, and you just either jump or shoot, and you can hit enemies with, like, your tiara, and there's a bunch of stars in the level, kind of like coins in Mario. So you get those, and it boosts up your star meter, and a little bit comes off every time you use your tiara magic. But then if you have it full, you can use like your special power. And there's also little very traditional Sailor Moon icons around that you can pick up that do different things. Like in Mario, like you get special mushrooms kind of thing. So you can get like the Luna P-Ball, and it absorbs all the stars in the screen. Or like the Holy Grail turns everything, even monsters and crystal barriers you have to jump over, into stars. It's actually very simple to play. extremely difficult, though. I haven't gotten past the first level. So, like, it's like, because, you know, like, the Japanese version of easy is the North American version of very hard. So it's, like, you have to be very precise with the jumps, and towards the end of the level, it's just, everything is jumping, like, really, really quickly, so it's really easy for you to just end up falling off the edge, kind of thing. It's kind of like, you know, in some of the old school Mario worlds, where if you could stand still, but the screen would move, and it would eventually just push you off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the same sort of thing as that. So if you look under Sailor, I just typed Sailor, and one of the options was Sailor Dash, all one word, and you can just download it for free. I mean, there's ads in it, but it is free. Sailor Moon is the only one you can play with at first. You can see Mercury now in the menu after the last update, but you need to unlock her. So you can only play Sailor Moon, and then you can unlock Sailor Mercury, and I assume the next update will have, like, because you can see all the little symbols for the soldiers, but it has all the outer Senshi too, and even Sailor Chibi Moon. So those will all be there eventually. And the one thing I don't like about it is just the way my phone's laid out. The shoot button is right beside my kind of like exit button in the bottom left-hand corner. So sometimes I hit that and the game, it goes back to my like menu screen. And that's kind of annoying, but that's just because that's how my phone's laid out. So I always have to kind of keep my eye on where my thumb is going. But it's a very, very easy, fun game to play, and it looks like the Sailor V game and the Sailor Moon Crystal anime that's coming out now. Like, they purposely made it in that kind of style. So if you have an Android phone, check it out. It's free. It's really, really fun. It's difficult, at least for me. I'm sure some other people find it really easy, but it's fun, and especially if you're a Sailor Moon fan. But even if you're not, it's just a fun, old-school side-scroller.
Cool. Matt.
And sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And I didn't play any games, but I did pick up a couple of games from EB. We still have EB games here. It's not called GameStop. I had a coupon for buy one get one for my birthday that they sent me in my email. So I picked up a couple games that were like games I had been meaning to pick up for a long time, and I got them at a really cheap price because they were recycled. So I got the Devil May Cry HD collection, which I can't wait to get my fingers into because I love those games. And I've actually never played the second one, so that'll be fun. And I also got BioShock Infinite for only like $10. So.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah,
I know. I've been meaning because I love the BioShock series. It's just one of those things that when Infinite came out, A, I'm poor and can't afford video games, and B, I was in a really bad depressive state, like, you know, in a hospital sort of thing, all like in and out, so I wasn't playing video games.
The music in that game will make you feel better.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like I kind of want to.
I'll be interested to hear your opinion on the ending once you get to it.
Well, the thing I really want to do is finish my.
Ending.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
The thing I want to really do is finish my playthrough of Dead Space 3 because I hate having games that I haven't finished. And it's sitting right there, and I do want to play it more than Destiny. I kind of almost want to trade Destiny in so I can get credit towards something else. Like down the line, I would do it for like Alien Isolation, but I'm not going to have money till like the end of November because of convention at the end of the month. So, like, I don't know. But it's just, the more I hear of Destiny, it's not my game. Like, I'm not an MMO person at all, and I'm making Davion, so I guess we can go back to him.
No, he doesn't get the plate anymore. He's had his plate turn already. Was there? Well, I did not mean to cut you off twice. Was there anything else that you wanted to bring up before we move on?
Just trying to think if there's anything else that I watched. Oh, today is October 1st. Every October, I watch a horror movie every single day. Like, I'm a horror movie fan anyway, but October, I make sure to watch one every single day.
I do enjoy these runs.
Today, I watched one called Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
Oh, no way!
That's a great movie.
Nobody's ever heard of that movie. That's awesome!
It's a really fun concept for a horror movie that it's like kind of like a docudrama where these college reporters are interviewing like a Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger kind of guy, as if these are like, you know, real guys who live in the world, and there's even like a retired one that they meet, and he shows this TV crew how they set up, like, you know, the big kill scene in their horror movies, like a Camp Crystal Lake or whatever, and in this case, the Leslie Vernon house where the kid was like thrown off a waterfall or something. So it's really kind of cute concept that has never been explored in horror movies. I just really, really recommend it.
Cool.
I think my favorite write-up you ever did was like the Midnight Meat Train.
I love that movie.
Because that's such a it was such a weird, obscure movie that I didn't think anybody else ever saw.
Well, I'm a huge Clive Barker fan, so
exactly. That's why I was excited to see it. I remember watching that one really late at night one time.
It's surprisingly it has a porno title, but
yeah.
it was surprisingly really, really good. I mean, Vinnie Jones is intimidating, and he could be intimidating checking oranges in the grocery store, right? So I mean,
it was a nice, creepy movie. It
was. Yeah.
So Matt.
Yeah.
Let's see. I know you did not play a whole lot of video games.
No, I didn't. I played some more Destiny. I need to get back and finish First Light. That, unfortunately, similar to Destiny, is just going to turn into a grind session because there's these challenges you have to do, and you have to score so many points, and it's just going to turn into... You can't even memorize it because it's not old school enough that everything shows up in the same thing, in the same waves, in the same format, so it's just... keep running it until you get lucky and have a run that you do really well on.
So I know you did watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yes, that is one show that I actually watch on the day that it airs. I usually wait 15 minutes so I can skip commercials. Sorry, advertisers. But yeah, that is one show I definitely have been keeping up on, along with Doctor Who. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., if you're not familiar, this is its second season. It is a Marvel-run show based on characters that are members of the organization S.H.I.E.L.D., which I forget what the Marvel Cinematic Universe's one for that acronym is, but as Ward said in the first episode of the first season, someone really wanted the initials to spell S.H.I.E.L.D. So this season is the second season. It is integrated with the movie universe, if anyone watching didn't know that. So the impact of the events of Captain America the Winter Soldier were felt very, very heavily in the last, third or so of season 1. And so this season so far has really been about the fallout and the world that they live in after those events. Now trying to keep that spoiler-free is really interesting. So far they have teased for the next series they have coming out that's also integrated, which is the Peggy Carter series. Anyone who doesn't remember who Peggy Carter is, she is the love interest in the first Captain America movie, and also a formative member of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we get a quick teaser with her and the Howling Commandos, and then we jump straight into today and what the fallout is. And so far, 2 episodes in, and this show is firing on all cylinders. They brought in a villain that I would have never in a million years guessed they would have brought in, and did it.
Love the way they pulled that off too.
Yeah.
So perfect.
They've, everyone feels like they've evolved naturally. That's one thing that going into a second season, and this was my biggest gripe with Smallville. I loved Smallville, but that giant reset button they'd hit on the first episode of every new season that completely wiped out whatever the cliffhanger was from the previous season just always annoyed me, because giant reset button, bam, everything's back to normal. There's no giant reset button. The world has progressed very naturally. Feels like the characters have moved on in a way that makes sense for them, with the exception of one, but looks like we'll get explanation on that character next week.
Go dark.
And, go dark. That is a great line. That is a great line. Go dark. Even one of the characters, I wasn't sure how they were going to work that particular character back into the series, considering the fallout of the reveal of said character. Makes sense and works. There's been one reveal in episode 2 that I was not expecting. I did not think they would just throw that right out there for us. I thought they would tease us along with it, but good on them that they're not. As opposed to Doctor Who, whose writing I feel has been quite subpar. The writing on this, led by Jed and Mo.
Yeah.
Why she just doesn't call herself a Whedon, because she is as much a Whedon as any of the boys, even if she is married into it. Is just amazing. I mean, they are nailing it. If they can keep this up for 22, 23 episodes, whatever this season is, they better win every single freaking award they're eligible for, because I don't know. This is it's the one thing that I will say that's probably bad for this season is the beginning of season 2 is a horrible jump on point. Terrible. If you don't know anything about what's happened up to this point, you're lost. You have no idea what's going on. So that's probably a downfall for it. On the other hand, in the Netflix, home DVD, internet era, that's a real easy problem to fix. So I'm assuming you all have been watching it. So
Yeah.
Nodding doesn't count.
What?
Well,
Yeah,
Dave was nodding, but
I
it
need to
doesn't-
catch up on this week's episode, but I am watching this in reasonably real time.
Let's
I
go
will-
before the iceberg runs out of gas. I mean, that's...
Daniel, have you watched this week's episode?
Nope, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, all I have to say, and it's no spoiler because you won't know what I'm talking about, is Twin Peaks Showgirls. That's all I got to say.
Spoiler! I get that one.
Do you?
No.
That's right.
No.
There's no way you would understand what I'm talking about.
No, there's no way. And I mean, there's tons of great lines, and the writing is amazing. The actors have fallen into their roles beautifully. I get the feel so hard with every scene with Fitz in it.
Well,
That killed me in the first.
yeah,
I thought that was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
They set that up really well.
I did not check IMDb, but I am 99.9% sure that guy is Dozer from The Matrix.
No, he's not.
He's not?
He's not.
He looks.
I choked it.
Like
yeah,
him.
he looks a lot like it, but he's not Dozer from The Matrix.
Well, I don't know who he is exactly. Supposed to be from the comics, or if he's supposed to be from the comics.
I think he's a completely original character.
I think so, but he's badass. I like him.
Oh yeah, I mean the stuff in episode 2, but yeah, something to look forward to.
Yeah, it really made him awesome. Gosh.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they resolve the entire Fitz storyline. To be honest, so that should be interesting.
But they've given us a lot of info, though. I mean, if you stop and think about it, they've given us a lot of info.
They have.
And it's
just the beginning.
It's just begun, yeah. the way that this can play out, and
all right. So I'm not trying to cut you off, but we are running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time.
We're gonna skip your other one and save that for next week once you've had a chance to read it.
Okay. Yeah, I pick it up tomorrow because I don't pick up my comics till Thursday.
Right. I know. So, and then the last thing that we're going to talk about before we adjourn for the evening is this guy right here and one other game. This came out today, Shadows of Mordor, for every system under. It came out for the Xbox One and the PS4. The 360 and PS3 versions will be coming out, I think, in a month or 2 months.
Yes.
But they will not contain the Nemesis system.
Ooh.
Yes, which makes no sense to me whatsoever because. Let me tell you, I started the video review on this, and I can tell you in short order that I'm far enough into the game now that I understand what this game is. I thought I was getting a Lord of the Rings title. I am not. This game, without spoiling anything, is purely a murder simulator. That's all it is you will. It is the best Assassin's Creed game I have ever played.
Tell me more.
It is fully a stealth action combat with Batman combat controls.
Oh my gosh.
So can I just throw something in there real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say you play your game completely stealth. You're gonna come across chieftains that are completely strong against that.
Yeah. So the just to talk about the Nemesis system a little bit, it's a grid of I think 12. Maybe 16 orcs that all have their own names. and they all start as silhouettes. But either through organic discovery, as you're running around the world, you run into these guys and you find out their names, or you interrogate an orc and you find out who his chieftain is, and you uncover that information. Once you get that information, you can then choose to hunt him. And the difficulty is that when you go to kill him, he's usually surrounded by a bunch of his guys. So you get to choose how you want to pick him off. Do you want to try range? Do you want to try sneaking up on just him? Do you want to wade in guns a-blazing, or sword in this case, a-blazing, and go in and do it? You make all those determinations. And I mean, it really is the best Assassin's Creed game that I ever played. And that's a complete knock on Assassin's Creed. Because this is a open world, there's collectibles, there's puzzles, there are bounties to go kill, but this nemesis system is what ties it all together. When you find one of these chieftains, they say, "You, Ranger!" And like they'll shout out something like, for example, just to give you an idea of some of the interactive things you can do. There was a chief standing by a fire, and I happen to know that he feared bees. I waited for him to walk under a beehive, and I shot the beehive so it fell on him. And of course he starts freaking out about the bees, and he starts running without looking where he's going, and he runs directly into a fire. He's also terrified of fire. And so now he's running across this plain away from all his protection, screaming on fire as I'm stealthily running after him, and then I eventually track him down and slit his throat.
So not only that, but these tenants, the lieutenants that Mark was talking about that help them out, like they're their own out in the open, so you can actually hunt them down, and you can decide whether or not you want to kill them. And if you decide you don't want to kill them, there's a power that you get, a wraith power, where you can turn him into your own informant, where you beat him and then you like mind meld with him and make him a double agent. And then if you go and fight the chieftain, where he is one of the chieftain's lieutenants, the chieftain will walk out and his lieutenants will walk out, and when you start attacking, your double agent will turn on the chieftain and help you in that battle.
Yeah, and since your lieutenant, your mind-controlled lieutenant, has his own retainer of guys, they're going to follow him. So if he starts attacking the chieftain, then all his guys start attacking the chieftain too. It's this incredible, really deep system. It's simple, but it's really deep, and the combat is so good. The only piece of advice I would give for people starting out is take all of your initial money that you get and put it into greater health, because you're going to be a lot more survivable in the early portion of the game with more health bar.
So that makes perfect sense.
So to talk about survivability, in other games, when you die, it resets to a save point. In this, you move forward. Because of the dynamic of the game and who you're tied to, you move forward. So the orc, remember how Mark was saying they're all blacked out and they're all silhouettes? Well, the orc that kills you becomes a lieutenant. And it's a unique lieutenant. It looks completely different. So if Turo is playing the game and I'm playing the game, the one who kills him first and the one who kills me first, they're dynamically generated. So they don't look the same. They don't have the same name. They are created unique to that game. Now, occasionally, when an orc kills me, my friends that also have the game get sent a vengeance mission. And Two Boss the Red, who killed me, pops up in their game, and they get a mission to go and hunt him down. And if you went and hunted down Turok the Red, or whatever his name is, that killed me, you get XP and I get XP.
And the best part that I am loving about the system is I killed one of these lieutenants, and I kept playing, working on other lieutenants, doing some story quests, and I'm running across a field, and I run into the guy I killed previously. He's like, and now he's got this giant ass like plate metal in his head, and he says, "Thought you killed me, did you? I'm gonna make your life a living hell." And so now I gotta fight this guy, and I'm unprepared to do so.
and I managed to beat him again, but I didn't decapitate him. I just killed him. And so 5 times this guy shows up in my game. And every time, it's seriously, it is. But I mean, he's got now he's got a metal plate in his head. He's got scars across his other eye. He's got big chunks of rotting flesh in him. And he's all like, You've turned me into a monster, and now I'm going to do horrible things with your corpse. And it's like, holy crap. But probably the best one is that I saw so far, and I had heard this, but I saw it last night, and I was totally jazzed about it. Is I got one of these orc commanders that I had miskilled a couple times, not really killed, and I finally go to land the killing blow on him, and he says, "You may kill me, but it's not gonna bring your family back." And I'm like, that is so cold. And the amount of dialogue, just the amount of unique dialogue for all these chiefs, because every time they see you or you start battling with them, they shit talk you. I mean, every time it's like, oh, there's no bees for you to drop on my head this time. It's just you and me. Or, there's can't hide behind your animals this time. It's all this kind of shit talk, and it's amazing. It is amazing. And all I'm doing is running around, hunting these guys. And that's what the game is really about, is this murder simulator. And Lord of the Rings just happens to be the wrapper that is coming.
That's not even the story mission. That's just extras, and the extras is a game in itself.
I have done 3 story missions in about 10 hours of gameplay.
So what are the story missions like?
They're pretty generic. It's like, so the concept is that you are killed and then somehow cursed and tied to an elven wraith, and you have to figure out. You're both kind of amnesiac, and you have to figure out why you're cursed together. But what the story missions generally are go here and do X.
Well, I meant more. What's the story like?
It's
as opposed to just the missions themselves.
It's an original, somewhat original story. The ranger you're playing is a completely original character. The elf is not. The elf is actually something out of the books.
Yeah.
And so it's discovering who that is and how you're going to make the person that put this curse on you pay. It's pretty generic stuff, to be honest.
It takes place between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, right as Sauron is gaining power again, and you start off on the Black Gate.
Yep. And so Mordor is I believe, I have not made it all the way through the game yet, but I believe Mordor is the entirety of your traveling freedom.
I think you're right.
And it seems like it's not a very big map to start with, but as you get to play it, it's pretty good size.
So Mark was talking about how there's the chieftains, the 20 different chieftains or whatever. There's 4 chieftains or 5 chieftains and a bunch of lieutenants. So there are different zones that you play in, and each zone has its own group.
Yeah, you've got lieutenants and then captains and then the chieftains.
Yeah, and one of the cool parts is in other games, when you're playing the hero and then you've got the villains on the other side, they level up with you, but it doesn't really explain anything. In this, as the orcs that you're fighting, the lieutenants and the captains, they're leveling up because they're also accomplishing missions. So while you're playing, it'll say so-and-so accomplished hunger strike. And it's a battle. They will war against each other for zones, for food, for resources, and you can actually be running across the field and you'll see this marker up that's I think 2 swords, and it's actually a zone that is being contested, and you can jump into that battle and fight one off and control the other, or fight both of them, or whatever. And if you just leave them alone, later on, when you go and check up the zone, the Sauron's Army, I think that's what it's called, what the mode is called, it'll show you this guy leveled up because of this. This guy died. This guy leveled up because he's been doing this. And you can actually follow these characters that are all doing their own things as you are playing.
And the interesting part is it's not always battles, too. It could be like there's a chieftain that's having a feast, and you have the option to go disrupt it, but if you don't, maybe they'll level up from having completed that activity. I haven't died a whole lot. I've been pretty smart about running away, because you do have to run away sometimes when there's 25 enemies on the screen and they're all surrounding you. But the funny part is, one of the times I died, I literally had about 25 guys and 4 captains around me, and I had set a bunch of the warg-like creatures. I can't remember what they're called in this, but they're basically giant ravenous dogs. I'd set a bunch of them on this group of enemies while I was fighting inside the middle of them, and they eventually killed me. And not only did all the 4 captains level up from killing me, but several of them had killed the wargs, and so they got levels for killing the wargs as well as killing me. And so suddenly I had 4 captains that jumped up like 5 levels apiece. And I'm like, holy crap, because now I got to go track those guys down, and they're going to be that much harder. And some of them have, like Daniel was saying, some of them can't be attacked from range. Some of them you can't use stealth moves. Some of them you can't. Some of them will actually pull out a horn and blow it for reinforcements. So whereas it was just the captain a second ago, now all the orcs from the zone are running to support this guy, and you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna deal with all these 20 different ads that are coming in?
The more you die, the harder this game gets, then.
Yes.
In part, because remember, you don't necessarily have to go hunting down these lieutenants and captains.
No, you are. This is going to be awesome part of the game. So, that is awesome. So if you die, you're just like, oh crap.
So what Mark is talking about with the weaknesses and the strengths, you can actually go up to just random orcs and mind meld with them, and it'll give you intel on one of the lieutenants or one of the chieftains or whatever. So you can actually find out the strengths and weaknesses and stuff, and it's actually listed. And that's how Mark knew this guy's afraid of bees. This guy's afraid of fire or whatever. This guy takes extra damage from beasts.
And by mind meld, Daniel means that you rape their brain for information, and then when you're done extracting everything, you pull out your sword and you shove it through the middle of their eyes.
All right, kids.
I was trying to be more.
Shadow of Mordor. It involves rape and murder.
Yeah, so I will say that the Batman combat system with gore and blood and swords and daggers is fan-freaking-tastic. It is amazing. Turo?
Yes.
While I was playing, and every time I have played Shadows of Mordor, I forgot about the D word.
D word?
Destiny.
Wow.
Oh.
So, just FYI.
That's dangerous, man. Because that's
high praise indeed.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, a new game made you forget about the old game.
Yes. So just FYI, if you have a chance to check it out, I highly recommend it. It is phenomenal.
I'll do my best to pick it up.
I gotta play some Infinity, so I'm gonna play some Infinity first, and then I might check that game out.
So there's one other thing that the last thing that I can't really talk about. But I will say that I did get into a beta for a non-Sony produced driving game that may or may not be coming out this holiday season, and I will be putting something together for that. So
awesome.
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo is not coming out for several years. So.
I know.
And I said non-Sony.
Are they bringing back Rush 2049?
Yeah, I wish, but no.
He said he can't tell us. Let's move
on.
I
cannot tell you.
Cruising USA? Cruising World?
Cruising USA.
Mario Kart.
Final thoughts.
Crazy Taxi.
Final thoughts for the evening.
Chocobo Racing.
The pole position.
Yeah, you want the pole position. All right, Turo.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
I don't know. Play as much Destiny as you can before I play Shadow Mordor. And watch Doctor Who, because it's better than the last 3 seasons.
Daniel!
I can't explain how wrong that is. That's all I've got.
Dave, final thoughts.
Final thoughts: stay away from the woodchuck pumpkin reserve, whatever.
Ooh, that one's the good one.
Stay away from
It's
woodchuck.
awful.
Period.
It tastes horrible, but it got me really, really buzzed.
Is that the yellow? No, that's the orange one. There's a yellow one that's the awesome one. What is it?
Maybe the
Barrel
yellow
Select.
one's better.
Barrel Select. Look for that one.
Yeah, this is not good.
All woodchuck starts from woodchuck urine, so just stay away from it at all. It's all just wrong.
Yeah, I just gave it a shot because it had pumpkin in it, and 'tis the season. And I should have said no. It's awful.
Kate, final thoughts.
It's gonna feel awful tomorrow morning.
Support Sailor Dash. It's really, really cute and fun and fan-made, so good.
Nice.
And watch Gotham. If you haven't checked it out, How to Get Away with Murder is on Thursday nights. I really liked the premiere episode.
Oh, I saw that. That was really good.
And the one black student was Dean Thomas in the Harry Potter movies. So there's a geek connection. If you look him up, he looks exactly the same, just slightly taller. And this Thursday or tomorrow, Grace Point starts.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they redid it with David Tennant.
Did you watch Broadchurch?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? I'm really curious to see how they do that because the trailer is scene for scene for scene almost identical to Broadchurch. But I watched an interview with David Tennant, and David Tennant doing an American accent is just freaking weird. But I watched an interview with him, and he guarantees that at the point where he did this interview, he does not himself know how the series ends. All he knows is that it ends differently. And knowing how Broadchurch ended and knowing that they're going with almost the exact same premise, I'm just warping my brain trying to figure out how they could change the story. But anyway.
Well, I'm not going to watch Broadchurch because I'm going to give Grace Point a chance on its own.
But you got to get the accent. You can barely understand David Tennant that he does his natural accent. You can barely understand a word he says. His Scottish accent's so heavy.
I'm of Scottish descent. I'm sure I will get by. But yeah, so I'll be doing that tomorrow, watching that, and I will put a little thing on the site about it. Perfect. So, and Forever, I still really like that show. If anyone wants to check it out, with Iwan Griffold, or also known as Horatio Hornblower. Did you get a chance to check that out, Matt?
I don't. I have 3 episodes on my DVR. I'm waiting for a chance to sit down with the wife and to watch it.
Another show.
Was okay. It was okay. I thought it was very reminiscent of some of the shows that came out in the late '90s that were about people that live forever.
Castle started this week too.
Yep. Watch that one.
Oh man.
Matt, final thoughts.
A lot of TV. My gosh, a lot of TV. So a lot of the shows.
Mine.
Huh?
Don't steal mine. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, I'm not sure what yours is, but I'm gonna do the one that we talked about earlier. So, Castle again. Watch that. If you saw the finale and were wondering, is it gonna be okay? Are they gonna manage it okay? They managed it okay. So, if you've been tepid about going in, you're fine. That's not a spoiler. Jeez Louise. I hate you guys. The big event that has been coming up that originally I was completely off the board with. I didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to do anything with it. And then in the last month I have gotten totally excited for. Star Wars Rebels premieres on Friday on the Disney Channel, the regular Disney Channel. The series starts on the 13th, so it skips a week and a half. It starts on the 13th, and that's on Disney XD. So if you're setting up your DVR, the premiere is a 1-hour episode. They're calling it a movie. It's a 1-hour premiere.
Yeah.
That's on Disney Channel, but the regular series itself is on Disney XD, which is their action anime.
It's 2 totally different names too on your DVR, so make sure that you're recording both.
Yeah. If you set up the recording for the 1-hour premiere, it's called something different than the regular series. So yeah, it won't catch it.
Sparks of Rebellion or something. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, and I did buy the novel. That's the prequel to the movie. So I'm back in it. I'm back in it full. I don't know why I lied to myself and said I wouldn't.
Walmart actually announced that the DVD for that movie, for that 1-hour episode, is going to be on sale the 3rd, like next week. So yeah, if you miss it, it should be out. It should be out for sale on DVD.
Wow.
Yeah, it's basically they're going to show it on air and then it's going to be in stores.
Yep.
Basically.
So like a timed exclusive for the Disney Channel.
Whatever happened to Star Wars detours? I'm really annoyed that didn't.
detoured.
You remember that?
Yeah. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah, exactly. Like that thing is like apparently there's like 60-some episodes already in the can.
They must have gotten totally botched by the sale.
I think that's
in the
what it was.
can.
In the can.
That's the operative phrase. Yes.
So about you, Mark.
And my final thoughts. You know, I would have thought that a fan would have brought it up before now, but on CW Thursday, the Flash premieres. So, you know, if we had any Flash fans on the podcast...
Next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Is that a photography show?
No, it's
it's
next week. Tuesday.
Okay, so Arrow premieres a week before Flash.
Right.
And Arrow is this week, I believe.
Yeah,
so Flash is next week.
Yeah.
I forgot
Flash
to mention because I've seen it.
2 days in a row.
Oh, it is. It is. You're right. I think you may be right. Yeah.
I thought Arrow had a tie-in as well, though, which is why I was...
Here, it's like...
Not the premiere.
Flash is on the 7th, and
Okay,
Arrow's on the 8th.
No spoilers, but that's not accurate, Matt.
Oh, okay. Well, the tie-in episode that they've been teasing...
No, there's a tie-in
episode
episode,
8,
yeah.
9, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there's something in the beginning of Arrow as well, so that's why I was bringing it up. So
I'm going to be watching them all anyway, so...
Watch Arrow and then watch Flash, and we'll talk about it next week. Housekeeping items. Hopefully you like the show. If you want to write in questions, topics you'd like us to discuss, it's both@gamersledge.com. Do visit the website, gamersledge.com. Our Facebook is facebook.com/gamersledge. Twitter is twitter.com/gamersledge, and Twitch and YouTube are their respective things /Bolt99. We got busy, obviously, with all the content going up on the site, the videos. We put the Pop Man interview up, yet there are no contest announcement videos and articles that have gone up since last week's podcast. So we're going to just extend everything by a week. So you'll still have 2 weeks to win the Destiny copy, and then you'll have a week from now to win the Pop Man signed prints, and I will put all the details in the article. So look for those. Until then, unless anybody has anything else super pressing,
Forces and Destiny is out for Star Wars role-playing game.
Game on!
Game on!
Come on!
Bye.
Bye.